There we are. Right. Oh, good. Let's go. Ugh. So it was a new calendar year and the third and final term of the school year. I was on my usual commute to school, seeing the usual faces on the way. The usual wind chill was still around. 3 more months, and I would enter my third and final year. And somehow, I didn't give a damn. I entered the classroom, said one half-hearted greetings, sorry, some half-hearted greetings, and went to my desk.
おはよう。
Morning. You actually came to school today? Usually you skip the first day back.
たまにはな。
I stared at her desk. Nagi,
ん
you raised all the graffiti?
まあな。少しは真面目になろうと思って。
Knowing you, that's impossible.
前々から思ってたが、君は僕に対して多大な誤解があるようだな。
You're hard to understand.
そうだな。悲しいことだけど、その通りだ。
Not really. It's just who you are.
僕は分かり合いたいと思うよ。そう思うからこそ、人と人のつながりも生まれるんだ。
I guess. I finished work and returned home. There was a letter. It was from Mr. Amamiya. Obviously, not the teacher, but Yuko's uncle. I slowly read the elaborate writing. It started off with many lines expressing his gratitude. He was able to consign the bank book's funds to himself, plus he ended up framing my painting of Yuko. When he visited my apartment, he noticed my painting and asked for it. I simply gave it to him and asked for nothing in return. I wonder why he's thanking me. The painting of Yuko was not what I needed to remember her. Hey, Beatrice. He then wrote that if there was anything else, I shouldn't hesitate to ask. Finally, the letter ended with some more thanks. In the end, he didn't blame me for what happened on Christmas. I felt that Yuko still had a presence in this room. She was only here for a few months, but I sensed the traces she left behind. I could even smell her, as crazy as that sounded. Time is the only constant in life. I could never turn back its hand, no matter what I did. Sometimes when I walked, my arm would reach out to the side and grab air. All I could do was shake my head. What was I trying to grab? I didn't have anyone I wanted to hold hands with. Maybe I was still in denial.
もう嫌だ。
Naki looked frustrated. She was about to throw her charcoal at the floor. I turned towards her. Nagi.
もう嫌だ。
She glared at me.
いつまでもそんな顔してるユウは大嫌いだ。気づいてるか？君は今にも死んでしまいそうな顔をしてるぞ。
I'm just standing, Beatrice. That's why the angle is different. It's coming more downwards towards me. Yeah. Because the way I lift my monitor is not high enough for it to be at the same level as my eyes, so it's kind of like a downward angle. That's all.
君がそんな
I hope it's not weird.
いつまでも沈んでいたら、あの子だって、あの子だって。
Sorry.
謝るな。
Yeah. Nagi's being pretty cool.
僕に謝ってどうする？
Love the voice acting. I'm getting shivers. It's my fault for making you cry.
泣いてなんかいるものか。
She was violently wiping away her tears. Due to her guilt, she had cried many, many times. It didn't matter when or where. She even broke down during class. I ignored her whenever it happened.
泣かなきゃいけないのは言うだろう。どうして君は泣かないんだ。
I lowered my head. I don't know. For a while, she silently wept. Her shoulders shook a little as she tried to calm down.
すまない。
Sorry for what?
一番悲しいのは言うなのに。
That doesn't matter. You want to cry, then cry.
君の前で泣くべきじゃないよな。
You have the right to cry where you want. Then I remembered. There was something I could do for her. I searched my bag. Found it. Here, take this.
鍵？
I'm giving you your own personal space. It's the key to the roof.
屋上？
Yeah, I think you'll like it. You can cry all you want up there, and no one will see you. The view is nice too.
どうして優が鍵なんて持ってるんだ？
Remember, it was Nagi who gave the key to Hiro. So, here we've come, full circle. Because I'm a bad guy.
そうか。
I'm a bad guy.
ありがとう、優。
Nagi didn't complain about possessing it. Actually, I almost wanted her to complain. Hearing her complain would have meant that she was no longer upset.
優、
Yeah?
一つだけはっきりさせておきたいことがあるんだ。
If you mean this, I won't give up.
お、
She was silent for a moment. Then she slowly smiled.
そうか。
If I give up now, I'll really have nothing. I have to keep going. If I stopped now, I didn't think I'd be able to start again. Why couldn't I cry? How was I supposed to know? It wasn't like I needed to know. Being emotional now was pointless. All the crying and yelling in the world wouldn't bring her back. Maybe I should pay a visit to the church. I hadn't gone to church since Yuko's funeral. Was I being disrespectful? She was buried beside her mother. Her mother's gravestone made me remember something. Something from the distant past. I was finally able to remember Yuko's maiden name. Her real last name.
お兄ちゃん。
She was an annoying girl who always followed me. A fool who kept calling me Oni-chan no matter how many times I told her not to.
だって、そう呼びたいんだもん。
Why was I so stubborn towards her?
お兄ちゃん、お絵かき上手だね。
She openly expressed her joy at seeing my sketch of the wretched city.
勝手にお出かけしちゃいけないんだよ。
She was always by me.
でも、お兄ちゃんと一緒に行きたい。
I wondered how much my life changed with her just being there. Growing desperate and following me from behind, every time I turned around, there she was. Just how many times did that happen?
もうすぐお別れしなくちゃいけないの。
She grew up and appeared in front of me again. Now she was gone.
お兄ちゃん。
Someone caught my attention. It was that orphaned girl, Miki.
お兄ちゃん、お姉ちゃんのお友達だよね。
I recovered from my shock and nodded. Thank you for what you did.
え？
You called the ambulance, right?
あ、それは、さゆりちゃんが、友達が呼んでくれてたの。
Oh,
私、何もできなかった。
don't worry about it. I lowered my head. The ambulance came, but it was too late.
と、
Yes?
ね、私、施設を出るの。
Someone taking you in?
うん。
That's great. Miki grinned. When I saw that, I felt a sudden rage boil up from within me. Yuko was killed. She died while protecting this little brat. Oh, come on, you. You don't really mean that. The trail of blood, her head injury, she suffered in her final moments. How much had it hurt? How much suffering did she go through? Why did she have to die? She shouldn't have died. She, of all people, should have been the one to survive. Not just her, but our baby too. Our baby never even had an opportunity. And yet this urchin was still here smiling at me. Mocking me.
お姉ちゃんがね、お姉ちゃんが、女の子はいつもニコニコしてなくちゃダメだって。だから私は泣かないんだよ。
My rage quickly subsided. I thought Miki's smile somehow resembled Yuko's. Seeing Yuko smile meant more to me than anything else. Once I imagined her smiling again, I couldn't point my anger towards Miki. You're a good kid. Could you do just one thing for me? Hey Fury, how's it going? Never forget about Onei-chan. I want you to remember her forever. Miki stared at me for a second. Then she nodded. Thank you.
お兄ちゃん
Yeah?
私
What's wrong?
ごめんなさい。
She suddenly began to cry. I had seen many people cry lately. It was a given since something awful had happened. Oh, I hope it didn't fall on anything and didn't injure or break anything or anyone. An absolute given. I placed my hand on her head. She stiffened up in response. Is something wrong?
なんでもない。
She shook her. You don't have to cry or say sorry. Yuko wanted to protect you, and I know she's happy that you're safe.
本当
Yeah.
私
Miki looked around. Could it be that you are lost?
迷子じゃないよ。新しいお母さんどっかに行っちゃった。
That's called being lost. Well, I'll help you look for her.
いい。一人で戻れるもん。
Oh, okay. Sure, I'll ask then. I don't want to leave you here. Just come with me. What does she look like?
女の人だよ。
Great, that's... Well, what color clothes is she wearing?
赤白黄色。
That's a rather strange sense of fashion. Well, she'll be easy to find then. Miki and I walked around the area. So, where did you last see her? Suddenly something touched my hand. Miki calmly attached her hand to mine.
お兄ちゃん
She cried out a little and almost let go. However, I firmly held on. You don't have to let go. Please, allow me. We held each other's hands. Her hand felt warm.
お兄ちゃん
Yeah?
お兄ちゃん泣いてるの
Huh? I didn't notice until she told me. Before I knew it, tears were overflowing and they wouldn't stop.
お兄ちゃんお姉ちゃんのこと好きだったの
I couldn't see very well. All the suppressed grief exploded from within. I found it difficult to breathe. It was so painful, I felt like I was suffocating. I loved her. She was so important to me, more than anyone I knew. Yuko. 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 I fell to my knees and said her name over and over like a lunatic. My tears made a small puddle on the ground. No, man. Yuko. The grief was overwhelming. She would never again answer with her gentle voice. Nothing would bring her back. Yet I still cried out. I continued to yell her name. I continued until I could cry no more. What was that you said?
ですから、いつまでも日村先輩っていうのも堅苦しいなぁと思いまして。これから一緒に暮らすわけですし。
What did you have in mind?
できれば昔みたいにゆうくんって呼びたいんですけど、いかがでしょう?
You've been calling me that for a while now.
あれはほら、からかってただけですから。
Well, fine. Do whatever you want.
はい、ありがとうございます。ゆうくん。
Yeah?
呼んでみただけです。
Idiot. Life went on. For the next few years, I immersed myself in work and school. The goal I had set was slowly becoming a reality. I could almost taste it. However, there was a price to pay for success. If one attempted to retain that which was being lost, it would slip through that person's fingers like sand. Soon my dream would no longer be a dream. It was a typical winter day. I made my way to where Yuko rested. Upon arriving, I laid a bouquet in front of her gravestone. Good news! I'm about to be part of a long-term project because of a sudden job opening. I'm probably the youngest on staff. They're expecting a lot out of me. I've got butterflies in my stomach, but I think I'll manage. Well, that's enough about me. Indeed, there would be no reply. The wind was the only audible sound. Kuze actually won a prize in some competition. He also sent me a CD of his, though he knows I don't listen to classical. Nagi is studying in America. I thought all the art programs were in Europe, but Nagi's always been unconventional. And with that, I ran out of topics. I thought I had much to say before I came here. What I really wanted to tell her just wouldn't come out. This is a low blow, okay? How's the kid doing? Daddy would like to say hello someday. I didn't think there was anything to worry about. There was no doubt that our child was keeping to Yuko's teachings and was smiling every day. I'm sorry. I came prepared this time. I have napkins. Hey, thing is, I won't be back for a while. The project will take a few years. Don't be disappointed. There's this amazing event that happens over there. It's that thing you talked about. I won't be able to take you there, but I'll bring this with me. I took out a paper bag. Inside was the scarf. My present is in front of you. I looked at the swaying flowers I laid. I really wanted to give this to you. But that wasn't all. There was one thing I wanted to tell her on that day. However, saying it now wouldn't be any good. Yuko, I'm sorry. And thank you. It was because of her that I was able to reach this far. I stroked the cold gravestone. This was the grave for both of them, Yuko and our child. Well, I'll be heading off now. I told both of them I was leaving and turned my back to the grave. Both of them are gone. They definitely once existed, but not anymore. However, I was here. They were counting on me. I was about to leave the city where they were resting. But I would never forget. Those memories would never be forgotten. In the meantime, I had to hope that my feelings would be received. For all the people who were now off in another place, I had to keep praying. In the new world, inherited the will, the truth of the story is faced. The truth of the story is faced. It's a weird
始まりは
translation.
何だったのだろう。
Give me a second.
徐々に薄らいでいた記憶が目覚めていく。確かそう。こんな何気ない一言。どうかしたんですか？私は施設に預けられてから、それまで人とまともに口を聞いたことがなかった。うるさいんだ。みんなうるさい。うるさい。うるさい、うるさい、うるさい、うるさい、うるさい、うるさい、うるさい。どうして泣いてるんです？でも、その人の声だけは違った。言葉そのものはありふれていて、むしろ一番嫌いなものだったのに、胸の奥の寂しい気持ちに引っかかる綺麗な声だった。だから泣いてない。その人の前で泣いてはいけないのだと無意識に理解した。もうとっくに終わっていたのに。私は思わず顔を上げてしまったのだ。それが私と雨宮優子さんとの出会いだった。ねえ、もっと綺麗な声を聞かせて。教会の前で。教会の前？教会の前をうろうろしちゃダメだって先生が。車も通るから危ないって。遊ぶなら公園で遊びなさいって。それはそうですね。ふと優子さんが小首をかしげる。どうしてミキちゃんは教会の前なんかに？そんなの私の勝手だよ。もしかして私を待っててくれたんですか？違う、寂しかったの。一人は嫌だったの。そうだ、あなたにプレゼントがあったのに、どこに行ったのかしら。そんなのいいから、後で探しに行きましょう。そんなのいいから。ミキ、いけませんよ。そんな顔してちゃ。女の子はいつもニコニコ笑ってるのが一番です。わかりました。約束します。だからいなくならないでください、優子さん。花がすぐにしおれてしまいそうですね。私は教会のすぐ前の道路を見渡した。
ここが何？死んだ両親とか以前の葉山瑞希に持ってきたんじゃないのか？
違います。 これは雨宮優子さんにです。本当は本当の場所に手向けたかったんですけどね。
お前は。
え？
お前は誰だ？
そこにまるであの日の久世さんのような、もっともっと暗い目をした日村さんが立っていた。命が謳歌する夏の日差しの中、そこだけが光を拒むように黒く存在している。無意識に足が下がりそうになった。
懺悔したいことってなんだ？
質問というより質問の口調で、思わず喉を鳴らしてしまう。私はこの教会に引き取られて。言葉が詰まってしまう。日村さんは真剣な目で私を逃がさない。何かこの人にとっても大切なことなのだ。だから私は大きく深呼吸して気持ちを落ち着かせた。私は人間が怖くなっていたんです。誰かが私に触れようとするたびに手が伸びてきて私の首を絞めて海に引きずり込むようで。あの頃は思い出すと辛くなるけど、今でもあの時代に抱いた恐怖は頭の片隅にこびりついている。私のかけら、学校にも行けなくて、そもそも施設にいた親代わりの人も怖くて、実の両親に殺されそうになって、他人なんてもっと信用できなかった。半年間挨拶一つできなかった。食事も一人じゃないと胃が受け付けなかったんです。誰かがいると吐いてしまって動けなくなって。そんなだから引き取り手もなくて、ずっと教会に閉じこもっていました。季節は夏から冬へ。そんな時、あの人に出会いました。
どうかしたんですか？
私が今こうして笑っていられるのは全てあの人のおかげなんです。そんな人が私をかばって死にました。私の代わりに。釣り合う価値なんてない子供を助けて。でもだからこそ私は震えるわけにはいかないんです。頭を下げるわけにはいかない。自分に価値や意味がなくても、あんなに綺麗な人の代わりだなんて無理だろうけど。
Oh, Kevin, you are so kind. Hi, how's it going? I hope your week started well. Wait. Aww. Too kind, my dude. Thank you. Ah, let me have some water.
それでもあの人に追いつくために私は頑張りたいから。私はこの世界で最後まで戦おうと決めたんです。
Oh, do I? Thank you. It's just I'm so tired and I put very minimal makeup on just to be more or less presentable. Work was very consuming mentally today, so is it possible? I don't know. You're the judge of that.
最後まで笑っていようと決めたのだ。それに優子さんだけじゃありません。私には目標にしている先輩方もいます。ある人は夢を叶え続けるために、大切なものを守るために 困難な道を選び取る大切さを教えてくれました。ある人は傷ついても再び立ち上がる勇気を教えてくれました。あいつもどうしようもないと誰もが諦めるような状況から一筋の希望をつかみ取ったんです。
Oh, Mizuki. My heart is melting.
私の中にもその思い一つ一つが生きています。
I thankfully will be able to chill, not just tonight, but also tomorrow, because it's a holiday in Romania, so I have the day off, and I can chill a little bit, and recover, and also try to do some of my own things that I haven't really been doing lately, because I've just been destroyed in my free time, and basically just used it to recharge, mostly in the past few months. But yeah, that's exciting.
もちろんそこに完全な答えはありませんでした。自分の幸せのために誰かを泣かせてしまうこともあるし、人を思いやるからこそ傷つけてしまうこともありました。でもそんな不完全さもやっぱり一つのかけらなんです。そういうものからも私は目をそらしちゃいけないんだと思いました。正しさと愚かさ、強さと弱さ、夢と現実、そういうのは多分羽のようなものなんです。1枚だけじゃダメなんです。2枚が揃うことで本当に羽ばたくことができるんだと思います。
Oh, that's such a pretty metaphor. There's a night, the one and only holiday. Oh, you're so sweet, Kevin. Oh my gosh. I hope in ways that maybe are mysterious to me, all of the sweetness comes back to you in life, and it kind of, you know, since you put this positive energy into the universe and towards me, I hope the universe puts it back towards you. I for sure do, but I don't know how much I can do from here, you know. I hope it comes back 10 times, tenfold to you. You're too sweet. Thank you.
人が一人の力でできることには限りがあります。でも私はそれでよかったと思います。この不完全な世界に生まれてきてよかったって、心の底だって、一人じゃ寂しいからこそ人は誰かを求めることができるんです。多分優子さんもそうだったのだろう。天使のように美しかったあの人にも私の知らない人間の姿があったはずなのだ。そしておそらく久世さんも。そうか、私はそこでようやく気づいた。久世さんはあの人こそが優子さんに似ていたんだ。だからあれ、ふと最初の質問を忘れてしまっていた。そもそも日村さんは私に何を尋ねていたんだっけ。とにかく私も優子さんみたいに人の役に立ちたいんです。以上。最後が間抜けだと思ったが、それが私の心にあるもの全てだった。日村さんは厳しい目のままで私に手を伸ばして首を
Oh, I'm hardly the best, objectively, but it feels really warm and cozy to know that I am the best in your heart. Thank you, Kevin.
腕を下ろして盛大なため息をつく日村さんに、今度は私がほうけた顔をしてしまう。
くそ、ちくしょう。
Oh, okay. He's cursing. That's new.
もう 割り切ったと思ってたのに。
前髪をかき分けて彼は青空を見上げる。
あの男の気持ちが今頃になってわかるってわけかよ。不発弾みたいだなこれは。どっちにしようか迷っちまうなんて甘いな俺も。お前がそれを望んだんならもういいよな。
えーっと
許す。
ポンと軽い感じで日村さんが私の肩元をノックした。唐突なことに理解が及ばなかった。
懺悔だったんだろ。
あ、はい。
それなら俺の役目は許すことだ。人間の罪は人間が許すものだからな。
どこか悲しげに笑って、
もうそれも背負うな。ここに花束と一緒に置いていけ。
はあ。なんで日村さんにそこまで言われなくてはいけないのかわからなかったが、でもどこか安心した。この人にそう言ってもらえるならなぜか全身から力が抜ける。
あと一つだけ訂正というか補足をしておく。
いつもの仏頂面に戻って彼は視線をそらした。
誰かを幸せにしたかったらまず自分が幸せになれ。それが一番大切なことだ。
ラジャー、なんとか頑張ります。
それとクゼをどうにかしろ。
え？
俺はあいつと青春する気はないからな。
どうしてしまったのだろう。日村さんはニヤニヤと、なんだか彼の方がつきものが落ちたみたいに総合を崩していた。
花をくれないか。
ああ、どうぞどうぞ。ざっと見渡して生きの良さそうな花を日村さんに差し出す。それを受け取って彼は苦笑しながら言う。
もう一本いいかな。小さいのでいいんだけど。
あ、はい。
ありがとう。
2本であることに意味があるのか。日村さんはくるくるとそれを回して鼻に寄せる。
いい匂いだ。
うわ。
どうしたの？
いえいえ、めっそうもない。あまりにもかっこよすぎて鼻血が出るかと思った。
He is very cool. I like him so much. Oh, the dedication, Kevin. You're making me melt. I hope I make for good background noise. That's my one and true goal.
人を寄せつけないような雰囲気があるのに、その分ちょっと感情を出すだけでこの人はとてもかっこよくなる。
Of
でも
course.
どうして急に花なんて。毎年持ってきてたとか？
いえ、ただ千尋先輩の手帳のことを思い出す。そんなことはありえないと知りつつ、音羽の教会に雨宮優子さんがいるって話があって、そんなことあるはずないのに。でもみんなが出会ってるんです、雨宮優子さんに。
Excitement. Quality content. Quality sweet. Oh man, I don't have words to say thank you anymore. I hope you feel the gratitude. Because I don't know how to express it. Oh man. You're too cute.
私は熱せられた石畳に手を当てて、少しでも冷ましてからそこに花束を手向けた。花はもうしおれかけていた。祈りを捧げるために目を閉じる。ずっと誰かを待っているんだって。 遠くで鐘が鳴った。12時だ。
Beatrice is joining in.
公園のベンチに座ってぼんやりとしていた。子供が2人目の前を走り過ぎていった。仲が良さそう。遅れてお母さんらしい人が苦笑いしながら後を追い、その背を見守っていた。吹き抜ける風が心地よい。お日様も綺麗で、この町を訪れた日のことを思い出した。川の音が綺麗だった。バイオリンの音色も。昨日の日村さんとのやりとりを思い出す。そうだね。私は私ができる限りのことをすればいい。ただ精一杯。生きるということは、人の存在価値はそういうことだ。女の子が一人歩いてきた。彼女が私の前に立って顔を覗き込んでくる。
優子は何してるの？
ちょっと臆病な声。昨日よりさらに記憶がはっきりとしてくる。あの人はなんて答えたのか。ちょっとお出かけしてたんですよ。でもちょっと疲れちゃったので一休みです。空を見上げてのんびり微笑む。一休みしてるだけです。すぐに歩き出します。
優子、笑ってるのに怖い。
感情は必ずしも顔に出るものではないんです。笑っていながら怒っていたり、怒っていながら悲しかったり、悲しみながら笑っていたり。
よくわかんない。
そのうち
わかる日が来ますよ。
私の言葉に続けて彼女がベンチから立ち上がった。冷たい冬の日にも凛と背筋を伸ばして白い息をつきながら、
ぬくもりに触れて、それをなくしてしまうのが怖いの。
人のぬくもりは温かくて、抱きしめるのも抱きしめられるのも大好きで。
泣かないでいいのよ。ミキ、あなたは一人じゃありません。一人になんかなりません。私だけじゃない。心を開けば答えてくれる人はきっといますから。
優子はいなくならない？
いなくなったりしませんよ。だって私、
子供の頭を撫でて笑いかける。
私には守らなきゃいけないものがありますから。
ああ、でも私は目を閉じる。今でも思い出せるあの日の光景だけは忘れられることもなく、人のぬくもりの温かさを知った冬。あなたは
大丈夫？
雨宮優子さんが私に微笑んでくれる。それが都合のいい夢だと知りつつも、でも伸ばしかけた手を止める。ええ、もう大丈夫です。大人になった私が答える。彼女との約束を守り、とびっきりの笑顔を浮かべて、私はもう大丈夫です。だからあなたも、あなたを思う人のところへ。だから私も、私が、
そう。
Sorry. I thought she had ended.
だから私も、私が思う人のところへ行きます。
そう。
優子さんは天使のように微笑んだ。そして夢は海のように深まる。私は少し寂しくなる。それは2度目のお別れだった。
どうして泣いてるの？
目を覚ますと女の子が私の顔を覗き込んでいた。さっき通り過ぎていったこの一人だ。日本人だったのか。泣いてないよ。そう答えて首を振る。嘘です。泣いてました。でももう大丈夫です。吸い込まれそうなほどに大きな瞳がじっと私を見ている。その子を安心させるように笑顔を浮かべる。人間は寂しくても笑えるよ。悲しみからは逃げられないから。だから立ち向かい乗り越えなくちゃいけない。私は水木って言います。
みずきちゃん？
ええ、水木ちゃんです。あなたのお名前も教えてくれますか？
私は、
そしてフィナーレ。決着の時だ。
Ooh, we're back to Kuze, I guess, now. Wow. The story within a story is done, and now we're back here. Ah. A quiet world. A calm world. I had yearned for such a thing. There were many things I wanted, but anything I obtained would shatter. Everything was settled. I thought I would never make another appearance in this world. That guy showed up, ghostly as a demon. He doesn't look like a demon, but sure, Kuze. Yu Himura entered with his spare key. I had thought it might have been her this time, but Yu always showed up everywhere. What is it? He didn't say a word. Himura squinted at me gently. Was something up? I love the music, by the way. It's so cool. I felt a little uneasy. A sensation of dread. Like this world were in winter rather than summer.
葉山瑞希が海に向かった。
Huh? That was totally out of left field. He took no mind of my reaction.
お前のバイオリンを持って、お前に否定された傷を負って、あの子らしくない顔で海に向かって歩いていたよ。
That didn't concern me. I gazed at the clock. 11 p.m. The same time as the day I took the violin there to burn it? And?
それだけだよ。
He declared as indifferently as I was being. I checked my heartbeat. It was a little fast.
世の中、そう都合よくお前の思った通りに行くかな。
His lips curled.
本当に生産できたのか？本当にやり残したことはないのか？何か実はやりすぎてしまったことはないのか？それだけだよ。
He left the room once he said his piece. Just like when he appeared, he was gone in a flash. I spaced out for just a little bit. Was what just happened really a reality or a dream? I was filled with a stillness, unable to tell the two apart. Mizuki Hayama went to the ocean. What came from the ocean must return to the ocean. I once thought that would be an appropriate setting. In the face of death, I had lost my way. Yu Himura's words reverberated like the sound of the waves. I took my medicine and left the house. The bottom of my lukewarm hell. The stars were pretty tonight. That was the summer word. Relying on the moonlight, I surveyed the coast. I thought it would be good if I couldn't find her. I didn't know what I would do if I couldn't. My breathing became rough. There she was. I discovered the girl glaring at the ocean. The violin was by her feet. I felt relieved, but really didn't know what I should do. Maybe I should have just taken my leave? Perhaps I should have just watched from where she couldn't see me. I took a nearby staircase and descended to the coast. It was summer. When I stood at the ocean, I fully realized. At the soles of my shoes was the uncertain sensation characteristic of a sandy beach. Thinking back, I had always met her at this beach in the nighttime. I stepped up to her, in the moonlight, once again. I confronted her.
こんばんは。
She turned to face me. I had broken her once before, and yet she had the smile wide across her face. Why was she able to smile? Her face must have been out of order. It still wasn't enough?
いい夜ですね。
What should I have said to her? There was nothing to say.
これは久世さんそのものです。
She picked up the violin case by her feet. And then she ran. She cast it away into the ocean. The locust made a beautiful parabola. It was falling. For a moment I wanted to run after it. I reached towards it. I had such a hallucination. Truthfully, I simply watched the spectacle without so much as a tremor. It made a nice sound as it hit the ocean surface. Like a toy boat, it swayed on the water, glittering in the moonlight. Far in the distance. And at length, it sank. She sighed. That's for the best. I stepped up beside her. It was settled. That was the end. Everything truly felt finished now.
久世さんの
She whispered, wondering what it was. I looked at her. Her shoulders shook like she was crying. She turned towards me with great force.
バカ愚か
That moment, I took a shattering blow to my jaw, and my head reeled. Good, you deserve it. I saw it coming, but I didn't feel like dodging it. Should have burned the violin? I don't understand what's wrong with the violin. It's a very expensive, good violin. He wants to burn it. She saves it. Now she's throwing it into the ocean. I am confused. Leave the violin alone. Give it to someone. Like, there must be someone somewhere who really wants to play the violin and doesn't have a good quality violin. Just, like, give it away for charity. Like, don't throw it in the ocean, man. I know she's trying to make a point. Maybe the violin isn't even in the case, but still, like, why are you littering the ocean? Littering is an actual problem, okay? Alright, let's come back. She continued her rotation and struck me once more, with her palm, no less. The world shook before me. Good, you deserve it. The pinpoint strike might have given me a concussion. I staggered and she caught my neck. Then I was thrown into the ocean, just like the violin. Okay. Huh? This was no joke. I tumbled over, unable to brace myself. I was thrust magnificently into the ocean. Disoriented, I emerged from the water. The water was salty, and the sand between my fingers tickled. She shook her wrist, looking very satisfied, and looked down at me.
これであなたは一度死んだわ。バイオリンも死んで、あなたも死んで、海に落ちて、これできれいさっぱりしましたね。
I see, so it's like a baptism of sorts. A full smile. Our positions had reversed from that day. She was practically singing. This left me completely dumbfounded. I completely forgot about my heart going out of whack and looked up at her. What the heck was this?
口で言ってもわからないようですし、体に言い聞かせてみようと思ったのですが、どうでしょう。バカは死んでも治らないと言いますが、一発死んでみた気分はいかがですか？
She's awesome, I love her. Drown him.
はじめまして。生まれ変わった久世修一さん。
She was looking down at me like a big sister. It was completely creepy, but she'd just hit me again if I said so. I lifted my submerged arm from the water and stared at it. This was a strange way to go about it, but it had been a long time since I had felt the warmth of the summer ocean. Was ocean water really this salty? I mean, yeah.
久世さんは嘘つきです。ものすごーい嘘つきです。だから信念を持ってその嘘を突き通してください。最後の最後の最後まで私を騙し続けてください。
She clenched her fist tightly and spoke like she was reciting an enka, together with a sweet smile.
そうしたら私もずっと本当のことだけを言います。私はひどいことをするあなたが嫌いで大好きです。
How much did she know? Everything? If she did, then why could she still love me?
久世さん、
She took a step towards me into the ocean.
夢を叶えるためにはまず夢そのものがないといけないんですよ。
Huh? This time, she struck not my head, but my heart. There was experience in those words.
こうなりたい、ああしたい、あれが欲しい。自分のために、誰かのために、そういう意志、思いを抱くことが何よりも大切なんだそうです。
Those are...
それはとても単純なことですが一番難しいことです。そしてその思いを諦めずにずっと思い続ける、それが夢を叶える第一歩になるんだそうです。
Her smile, too, was like a dream.
この言葉が私をここまで導いたんです。いい言葉です。
Those were my words. That was the answer I once gave Renji.
久世さん、
She lowered her tone just a little and whispered tenderly.
どんなに大事にしていても人も物もいつか必ずなくなります。それも絶対に絶対です。絆も思いも記憶も心も命、この世になくならないものはありません。壊れないものはないです。幸せなんて作り物で絵空事で偽物です。
That's why
だから
it was unnecessary.
大切にしましょう。
She put it into words. I wasn't able to do so myself.
いつか訪れる別れを後悔しながら迎えないように、壊れてしまうから大事に大事にしていきましょう。
Mizuki Hayama's words resembled a prayer upon the slow motion. I'm going to die.
はい、
I'm going to become miserable and unsightly.
はい、
I can't make you happy.
いいえ、
She denied it. She acknowledged this liar and denied it.
私は幸せになります。そしてあなたが死ぬ時に幸せだったと思わせてみせます。ギブアンドテイクです。ぶっちゃけ私に惚れられたのが運の尽きなのでおとなしく幸せになってください。一人では無理かもしれないけれど二人でならきっと見つかるよ。それこそ絶対に絶対。
She held her hand out for me.
だから一緒に行きませんか？
I had to smile. I took her hand. Our fingers tightly overlapped. Like so, I pulled as though into an embrace. The girl I hated and loved. I thrust back into the ocean. She plunged right in. I pushed myself to my feet and gazed at the sky. Nice weather. It would be sunny tomorrow. Surely. She stood up, water trickling off her. You've become a fine woman. I grinned. As soon as we returned to my room, we hugged and began kissing. Okay. Deeply. Okay. Over and over like it was CPR. Each time our lips met, I fully realized how awkward I was. There was more I should have talked to her about. Okay, this the sound effects are not really helping. Okay, can we not have them? The day I heard her, these past few days, I have thought about so many things in that time. So much that my thoughts overflowed. But I wanted her even more than that. Well, okay. Today she responded to my kisses. When our lips parted, she held her chest and her eyes dimmed absent-mindedly.
ドキドキする。
Yeah. I nodded. Even I was so shy, it surprised me. Every time I touched her, I got worried and didn't know what to do. My feelings were all jumbled together. But it was all connected to the emotion called love. The tightening feeling in my heart that I felt long ago had been resurrected. I led her further inside into the bedroom. I sat on the bed first, sat her between my legs, then hugged her from behind. Sorry. I held my head next to hers and apologized. She wasn't just surprised by being embraced. There were other things too.
謝らないでください。嬉しくて泣きたくなります。
It's because I did something to make you cry.
許します。
There we go. With a gentle voice, she lightly tapped my arms.
そこまで怒っていたわけでもないんですけど。じゃあ、一つだけ。エッチなことするの、いいけど、ちょっとだけこのまま、ぎゅーって抱きしめていてください。好きなんです。抱きしめられるの。
Aw, that's so cute. Yeah. Her smile was transmitted to me from her closely held body. I did nothing but hold her in my arms. She smelled like the ocean. It was like the sand in an hourglass was spilling. The room was peaceful. Her breathing was calm as if she were asleep. I felt a gentle heartbeat. Since when had I been this loving? It's warm. A whisper I didn't recognize reached my ears.
久世さん。
What?
きっとこういうのを幸せって言うんです。
Yeah. Our encounter grew more intimate. And now we skip, right? After a short time had passed, we took a break.
ねえ、久世さん。
Her cheeks were dyed in a deep red. She took both of my hands into hers. What is it?
私、
Okay, maybe.
久世さんの赤ちゃんが欲しい。
Aren't you a little bit young for that? It seems it's not a problem for ladies in visual novels. Is it a thing in Japan? I don't think so, no? Or is it because they're kind of running out of time? Huh? Could you repeat that?
赤ちゃんが欲しいんですけど。
No, 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 you can't. I frantically suppressed my feelings of agreement and shook my head.
だから先に言ったのに。
She squeezed our interlocked fingers tightly and gave me a sincere look. I was going to die. This was just a delusion she was having right now that she would soon forget. I couldn't leave something like that behind anyway. She smiled, though she looked like she might cry.
こうなる前から思ってたの。無茶で、これは本当に私のわがままで、自分勝手だけど、前に久世さんに何になりたいかって言われて、私、お嫁さんとお母さんの両方になりたいなって 願ってしまいました。ダメですか？
My eyes were burning. Why was I about to cry now of all times? Not cool. Why did she have such timing? It was unreasonable and rash, and it was something she shouldn't wish for. Even so, there was a foolish man right here that thought it sounded like a happy future. I'll grant that wish. With just 2 words, Mizuki leaned in to kiss me. I gazed at Mizuki's sleeping face, brushed her hair, and began to doze off. Then I heard the door open. Come to think of it, I hadn't locked it. I made sure she was still asleep, then got out of bed and returned to the living room. It was just who I had expected. Oh. He was surprised, of course he was, by the state of affairs in the bedroom, but I held a finger to my mouth and shushed him. I'll meet you outside. Wait a second while I get dressed.
ごゆっくり。
ごゆっくり. He shrugged, waved his hand in amazement, and left. I'm going out for a second. I kissed the cheek of my sleeping beauty, then gathered my clothes from the floor and chased up to you. Sorry for the wait. He had such horrible timing.
いいけどよ。
What?
こういう時こそ鍵をかけておけよ。
I completely forgot. He didn't seem to care at all, so I answered in kind. He had his familiar scowl, however. Where should we go?
海はさすがに遠いし、教会かな。
Saying it for the heck of it, he began walking without really answering. Did you come for a reason? Was it just to check up on me? I settled into my usual place.
どっちもってところか。
It's rare for you to have a reason.
すっかり復活しやがって。
He looked away and grumbled.
どうでもいいことなんだが。
What?
いや、やっぱりいい。
It was pretty unusual for him to hesitate. I always say whatever I want. You normally just say go ahead.
お前と水木ちゃんって犯罪臭いな。
Shut up.
お前が黙れ。下半身直結型。
This comedy act had gone cold. Somehow. I had a feeling this would finally be my revival. I'm not really a masochist, though.
お前は佐渡だ。100% 佐渡だ。
I'd say around 98%.
残りの 2% は何だ？
The portion that pokes fun at myself. Isn't that essential? Another sigh. What?
いや、今、一瞬でもお前とこうやっていて楽しいなどと感じてしまって、非常に鬱になった。
My condolences. That 98% of my spirit was praying. He looked up at me spitefully and shook his head.
もう大丈夫か？
Ah, I nodded blankly. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think it will work out somehow. This world is even worse than I imagined. And even better than I ever believed.
そうか。
He looked up at the cross.
もう大丈夫だな。俺がここにいなくても。
Probably. Renji Aso, Chihiro Shindo, Mizuki Hayama. They wouldn't have managed without him, though. She'll be an adult soon enough.
そうだな。
I looked up at the cross as well. She'd probably become really beautiful in another year. In that year, how much of her figure would I get to see? You put everything in order and left me with regrets, huh? He stared at me sideways.
一つだけいいか？
You're quite unusual today.
どうせだしな。ずっとわからなかったことがあるんだが、どうして人一倍怖がりなくせにそこまで強がってるんだよ、お前。
Got me. I smiled, and he gave the same sour look as always. Not that I could say it, it was embarrassing. Compared to the time filled with regrets and partings with the people who disappeared in that earthquake, this short time I could live was far too blessed. Besides, I didn't want my buddy here, who continued to suffer to this day, to have any more unnecessary hassles. That was the one final truth Shichikuze would never speak even if he died. Maybe the last 2% is love and admiration? I gave a merry smile.
まあいい。それより全然、優子と水木ちゃんは違うじゃないか。
I think they're the same. I spun my finger around. Their grave eyes never leave you.
嘘つきが。
He sighed. I slowly surveyed the church.
どうやら、本当に俺の仕事は終わったみたいだ。
His eyes seemed to be looking into the distance.
クゼ。しばらくお別れだ。
Farewell?
明日のうちに俺はこの町を出て、本物の音羽に戻るよ。
Finally. He spoke really calmly. I just stared at him in surprise. This was way too sudden. That's so. I nodded. He had probably reached a juncture somewhere inside him. That was probably for the best. Things were probably fine this way. Huh, wait a second. What about Chihiro?
近いうちに彼女も一度帰ることになるだろうけど、それまではいい泊まり先があったから頼んでおいたよ。
A nice place. Ah, Renji's place. I understood but noticed something strange. You, Himura, was abandoning his work midway? Is there something in Ottawa?
わからない。
He shook his head. His expression was serious.
だから確かめてくるよ。花束でも持って。
It'll be cold over there, so bring some proper clothing. He grinned wide. As thanks for our friendship.
さらば友よ。
日村さん。教会を出てきた黒い男の人に私は大きく手を振った。彼はいつもの不愛想な顔で待っていてくれる。駆け寄って少し呼吸を整える。この町を出ていくって本当ですか？
ああ、ちょうど今。
そっか。間に合ってよかった。
別に見送りなんていらなかったのに。
日村さんが唇の端を曲げるだけの独特な笑みを浮かべる。もうこの顔ともしばらくお別れなのか。荷物とかないんですか？
先に空港に送った。
A guy who plans ahead. I like that.
なるほど。
クゼは？
もう昨日のうちに見送りは済んだって。家でピーヒャラ寝てます。
いや、そうか。
日村さんが教会を見上げた。私も視線を追う。ちょうどタイミングを測ったように正午を告げる鐘が鳴り響いた。
バスの時間があるから歩きながらでいいかな。
はい。日村さんと一緒に商店街を歩く。いろいろと話すべきことや聞くことがあるのかもしれないけれど、感慨深げに街を見渡して歩く日村さんに声をかけづらかった。彼は石畳や植え込み一つ一つを楽しそうに観察している。ほうけた顔や驚いた顔やどこか影のある顔は見てきたけど、
I'm sorry.
こんな無邪気な様子は初めてだった。どことなく気恥ずかしくて、私は仕方なく自分と縁のある店に目を向けた。ソフトクリームを買った店、おばさまと食事をしたレストラン、久世さんがバイオリンを出した宅配屋さん、
ちょっと寄り道していくよ。
唐突につぶやいて、日村さんは街を出るためのバスが来る場所ではなく、まっすぐ駅へと向かった。電車の来ない世界の終点に。そこには千尋先輩がいた。いつものように。しかし彼女は最初から私たちのことを右目だけで見つめていた。
日村さん。
レンジとはまた違う信頼した様子で、日村さんの表情も他の人間には浮かべない穏やかなものだった。
急な話ですまなかったね。
いいんです。
ふるふると。
私の方こそ本当に今までお世話になりました。
参ったな。こちらで暮らすかどうかはともかく、また戻ってくるんだけど。
みんなが同じような別れの挨拶を口にしているのか。私も他人のことは言えないけれど、なぜか見送りという言葉がしっくりきてしまうのだ。本当にもう一度会えるのだろうか、この人と。そういう不安がどこかにある。
とりあえずレンジと仲良く。あいつは俺と違っていいやつだ。
はい。
少し潤んだ瞳だけど、千尋先輩は頭を下げてからにっこりと微笑む。
でも日村さんもいい人です。
そう振る舞っているだけさ。
日村さんは照れ隠しのように彼女に笑いかけて振り向いた。
さて行こうか。
はい。千尋先輩はついてこないのかなと思ったが、どうやらここで見送るようだ。私は彼女に手を振って、彼女も私に手を振って、また家で会うことになるんだけどね。そして駅を出ようと思ったら、そこに日村さんの姿がなかった。あれ？日村さん？
こっち。
駅の端っこに立って彼が手招きしている。慌てて後を追う。行かないんですか？
最後に街の全景を見たいんだ。
そう言って日村さんは線路に降り立った。彼の手を借りて私もホームから降りる。私たちは線路の上を歩いてとにかく振り向かず歩き続けて、街の外に出て、やがて線路が途切れたところで立ち止まった。風の向こうには何もない。ただ一面の草原。地平線が見て取れる。地球が丸いことを思い出す。すご
うん。
い。日村さんって何者なんですか？ずっと気になっていた質問を投げかけた。今まで誰にも教えてもらえなかった彼の秘密も今なら聞けるんじゃないかと思った。日村さんは私を横目で見て、いつもよりも少し大きく唇を曲げて、
建築家だよ。
そう言って振り返る。私も風に髪を押さえて振り返った。地平線と水平線の真ん中にポツンと赤い街並みが広がっていた。線路がまっすぐ続いているけれど、あまりのスケールに遠近感が狂う。それは夢のような光景だった。この街を訪れた時も胸がドキドキした。こんなものがこの世界に存在することにめまいを起こしそうになる。まるでおもちゃみたいですね。
本物だよ。
これが本物なんですか？私は思わず尋ねてしまう。偽物の街、終わりの街、どこにも続いていない駅、世界の終点。 季節が反転した。日本の裏側にある、オーストラリアにあるオトワの町を見て訪ねてしまう。なんでオトワなんですか？
あの町だからだよ。
日村さんはそれを知っているのか、淡々と口を開いた。
皮肉にもオトワが世界中見渡して最も新しいデザイン都市だったからだ。ただそれだけ。ほぼ完璧な設計図が残っていて、関わった建築家も資材の入手経路も全て把握されている。同じものを作るにしても短期間でコストがかからない。あとはその歴史と街並みが売りになるとでも思ったんだろう。看板や小物も冗談みたいに合わせてある。まだ試験段階でね。形式上はアミューズメントパークとして登録されている。そうでないと車線や法律の問題もあるから。町の資産はそのまま運営資金に回ってる。
お金の問題で？
不謹慎かもしれないけど、それ以外に選ばれた理由はないよ。
いつもと同じ、どこか無関心な口調で彼は告げる。そもそもなんでこんなものを？
日本の少なくて高すぎる土地問題を解決する都市デザインによる一つのアプローチかな。今はネットもテレビ電話も普及してるし、人が世界とつながることに距離や時間は関係ない。もうそれは意志の問題だ。だから実験が始まった。
途切れた線路の切れ端を日村さんが靴のかかとで叩く。鈍い音が伝わって街に吸い込まれていく。
オーストラリアが選ばれた理由も単純でね。日本とは逆転しているが、四季があり気候が近い。先進国でかつ土地が余っている。特定の宗教色が濃すぎることもなく、対日感情も政府レベルではそこまでは悪くない。一番の理由は時差がないから。季節は逆転してるけどね。政治、宗教、経済の観点から見た妥当な結果としてここであり、オトワなんだ。そういう偽物なのに本物よりもリアルな理由で作られている。
彼はおかしそうに目を細めた。私は笑えなかった。バカみたいだ。
それでもあそこに住んでいる人たちは確かに本物だよ。
日村さんが街を指さす。
今はまだレンジの家みたいに建設に関わった者の家族やテストケースで募集された人間しか住んではいないけど、そういう人たちがちゃんと暮らせるか観察するのが俺のここ1年の仕事だったから答えられるよ。あそこに住んでいる人間も遊びに来る人間も
Weird twist.
全員が確かに生きている。
It's kind of odd to me that they postponed it to the very end, because I feel like this is revealed in the first season of the anime, if I'm not wrong. Maybe my memories are jumbled. But it's kind of like, at the very fucking end, they explain it.
あそこにあるものは全部本物だったよ。
Although it does tie in nicely with explaining Kimura's story, right? Yu's story, and why he's here, and how it all conducted here. Now, it makes more sense like this than knowing it beforehand, so I guess. Okay. But it's just, now it's kind of weird for people who have followed the story to go back and like reconnect things. Even though I guess so far you should have felt a little bit of disjointness, because the city is called the same, yet Mizuki is traveling, and Chihiro and Kei don't live in the same house and they only communicate through emails, so what is that? You know, like there were hints along the path. And also, the fact that the seasons are inverted is very important, because in in the first part of the visual novel, the stories that we see in the first Ottawa, the genuine Ottawa, we start in the winter, you know, when Miyako and Hiro meet at Christmas, and then we go to the summer. And here we also start in winter and go to the summer, but it's like 6 months shifted, right? The winter here corresponds to the summer in the previous one, and this summer that we're seeing now is basically the next winter in the other city. So basically 1 year has passed from that moment where we start the novel, basically. So yeah, it's a little bit of a... That's why Mizuki is also older now. She's 1 year old and a little bit older.
よく聞かれるけど、なんであんなものが作られたのかわかる？
But why? I guess that's what they're explaining here.
なんでだろ
There it is. I wondered why. There we go.
う。ずっと気になっていたけれど、何の意味もない。こんなものを作る必要はないのだ。理由があったとしても舞台として間違っている。子供のような、現実的ではないですよね。
だから作られたんだ。
疑問をそのまま答えとして日村さんがうなずいた。
面白いから遊び心だろうね。どっかのバカが各国にある中華街を見て思いついたって話だけど、世界には万里の長城、ピラミッド、陽子加速器、果ては貝殻でできた島とかがあって、宇宙に民間人が泊まれる衛星のホテルを作ろうってやつまでいる。これらは全部本当の話だ。現実に目を向ければいい。くだらない夢よりもバカみたいに素晴らしい話がたくさんあるんだ。
日村さんが少年のように語る。この人、そういう人だったんだ。みんなが勘違いしていたことを私だけが知り得たのかもしれない。
最初の最初は何もかもがやっぱり夢から生まれるんだ。何かを作る時も何かをなす時も始まりには何もない。
ロマンチック。
そうだね。空を飛びたい、海の底を見たい、宇宙に行きたい、いつか遠いあの星にたどり着きたい。一つずつ叶っていく。
幸せになりたい。私はつぶやく。日村さんが肯定してくれるかと思ったけれど、彼は風に吹かれたまま静かに立ち尽くしていた。
そろそろ時間だ。戻ろう。
日村さんが再び線路をたどって歩き出す。私は慌てて彼の隣に並んでその横顔を見つめた。日村さんはどうしてこの町の計画に参加したんですか？
建築家の端くれだけど音羽出身ってことで声がかかった。バカらしいけどチャンスではあったし、それにあの教会だけは他のやつに作られたくなかった。
そこで日村さんは空を見上げた。青い青い空、太陽。そこに手を大きく広げてかざした。
夏のクリスマス。
え？
夢があるだろ。
そうやって同意を求めてくる。バカらしい。やっぱりバカらしくて私は呆れ返ってしまう。
サンタクロースって南半球でもあの格好なんだ。知ってた？
知りませんでした。おかしくなってきた。レールの上を歩きながら笑う。どうしました？
いや、
日村さんの視線を追うと気づかぬうちに私は彼の手を取っていた。ごめんなさい、つい癖で。
繋いでなくていいのか？
子供じゃないんですから大丈夫ですよ。
そうか。
日村さんって
ん
心配性のお父さんみたいですね。あ、お父さんってのは年齢的に失礼ですね。サンタクロースみたいにしておきましょう。
サンタクロースか。それも悪くないな。そういえば最後に名前を聞いてもいいかな。
水木、葉山水木ですけど、忘れているのだろうか。
そういうことじゃなくて、
何ですか？
君の本当の名前。
ああ、それで理解できた。私が私になる前の名前、私のかけらの一つ。それも確かに偽物じゃない。本当の名前は葉山瑞希ですよ。それをまず断ってから。でもその前は未来と書いてミキと呼ばれていました。
いい名前だ。
日村さんは草原の真ん中で不愛想な顔に少しだけ笑みを浮かべて。
覚えておくよ。いつか君もここを去るだろうけど、また遊びにおいで。
With that, well, I think you could call everything more or less over. Nothing really happened afterwards. Renji teased Chihiro and they got along well. I treated Sumire to some tea. Mizuki and I went on lots of dates, talked about lots, and tried to do lots. Like a fool. Like I was crazy. Preciously. Days which only seemed peaceful in appearance returned. And December 24th, summer. I stood at the plaza in front of the station, like a scarecrow. It was so hot my head was spinning. I really should be nocturnal if I want to live a longer life. I held my temple and waited for her absent-mindedly in the shade. Happily, my heart didn't race. I stared at the station. That place Chihiro had always been was probably nice and cool. But I kept it in my thoughts and stayed put. Somehow a liar like me was weak against her. Soon, two familiar faces approached me. They were 30 minutes late.
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
Hey. They weren't related by blood, but I greeted those two who seemed somehow similar. Setting Renji aside, why are you in uniform, Mizuki-chan? Was it just based on mood? It was hard to tell her basis for choosing that uniform. However, she seemed to have a reason today.
ちょっとレンジに協力してもらって。
The library. Isn't that a different uniform?
堂々としてれば大丈夫ですよ。
僕が友達にからかわれましたけどね。
レンジにも友達ができてて、お姉さん安心したよ。キラリン。
Renji's appearance made me wonder if he was alright, but that seemed to have achieved its purpose. Mizuki smirked like she was hiding something. Why are you in such a good mood? I feigned ignorance and asked. These sorts of exchanges were becoming more common. Sumire seemed to have an inkling of our relationship, but she hadn't confronted us about it directly yet.
知りたい知りたい。
I don't really, actually.
そんなに知りたいんだ。
Her clenched fist touched my side. Oh, I suddenly really want to know.
それじゃあ教えてあげましょう。
A sweet smile. Her tone had been a little broken since that day. It sounded something like a big sister's.
まず英語を本気で勉強しようと思ったんです。久世さんとかレンジとか付き添いがなくてもこの街で生活できるように。それと音楽のことを少し勉強してたの。
Music?
そう、ベートーベンの名言にいい言葉があったよ。休止符もまた音楽なりだって。
Well, well.
ぴったりだと思わない？
そろそろ行こうかな。
He suddenly gazed at the station. He was facing directly away from us. Mizuki snuggled up to me and stood on her tiptoes. She pecked my lips like a little bird. It was just for an instant, but I had to whisper in her ear. He'll find out.
そうなってほしいのかも。
どうしたの？
He turned back to us. With delicate timing, Mizuki had returned to her original position and stuck out her tongue.
なんでもないよ。さっさと千尋先輩のところに行きなさいよ。
なんだそれ？
He looked displeased. She gave me a look that only I would understand. I shrugged my shoulders with some complex emotions. Mizuki held an innate disposition. It was something like slippers at a fancy hotel. Something prepared casually that you didn't even take notice of. She was certainly more discerning than Renji. However, Renji was mediocre in his own way. He was self-conscious, a person steadily in the clouds. Painful experiences may await the negligent, but as she was still ignorant, I decided not to give any advice.
それじゃあ僕はこれで。
He probably wanted the chance to go see Chihiro as well.
また後でね。千尋先輩にもよろしく。
うん。
Later,
パーティーがあるんですよ。もちろん久世さんは強制参加です。
that's
お
so.
母さんとかお父さんも呼べたらよかったんだけどな。
She murmured quickly. Your family sounds close. She grinned happily, love-struck. Is your mom also a martial artist?
持って何ですか、持って。
There's no deep meaning. I was simply wondering what kind of person she is. I just had an interest in the woman who had raised her to be so direct. She was probably kind, strong, and strict.
そうですね。私のお母さんは赤白黄色です。
What the heck is that?
まあ実際に見て驚いてください。
Are you going home at the end of the year?
残念ながら。
I see. What would I do then? Maybe I should fly out and show my face at my parents' home as well? That was a surprising thought to have. And it was also pretty amusing. Father, mother, I'm back. It's sudden, but I have something to tell you. I'm going to die from an illness, but that doesn't really matter. This is my new girlfriend. Well, yeah, that is indeed an awkward conversation to have. But like, that beats not telling them. Because like, they don't know. I looked down at the girl seeing Renji off. It's almost criminal.
何がですか？
No, it's nothing. She was staring at a key in her hand. What's that?
レンジからもらった秘密の鍵です。
What's it go to?
だから秘密です。女の子は秘密を持ってる方が可愛いんです。今度ご案内しますから。
Ah, really? I had a feeling she was going to use it to surprise me again sometime. I'd do her the favor of not looking that far ahead. Should we go get something to eat?
デートです。
Let's go on a date. So, what do you wanna eat?
ソフトクリーム。
That's not food, that's dessert. Again? I held my stomach. I was hungry, but whenever I heard those words, my mouth tasted sugary and my stomach churned. Can't we eat something normal?
美味しいじゃないですか。
There wasn't a speck of cloudiness in her smile. I sighed and made a proposal. Want to do rock, paper, scissors?
いいですけど、私チョキしか出しませんからね。
Well, should I give or should I take? She has her. She has her ice cream. And so, soft serve was in her hands. Ah.
やっぱり今日はイチゴ味で正解。
We strolled through downtown. Our tones were on two different extremes.
甘くて美味しいですよね。
It tastes like sugar and milk.
それだけではありません。ソフトクリームには隠し味がいっぱいです。
I had no idea why she liked it so much, but there probably wasn't any grand logic behind it. By the way,
はい。
I'd like to see your master that trained you to be so violent sometime.
師匠って何ですか？
She groaned.
ク 久世さんはやめておいた方がいいかも。
Because she might fall for me?
すっごく叩かれやすい気がします。なんていうのか、そういう雰囲気がひしひしと。
I'm definitely not meeting her.
でも紹介しますね。
Hey, if I'm no good, how about someone like Renji? Time to change the focus of the conversation. I couldn't believe I was having such an ordinary conversation.
レンジはなんかどうなんだろう。
She seriously considered it.
やっぱり嫌われそうだけど、むしろあそこまで天然だと K 先輩の方が苦手になっちゃうのかな。千尋先輩のこともあるし。
Well then, I'll be a seed player. Yeah.
だから一緒に行きませんか？
We smiled at each other, taking our time walking, taking our time living. I loved her that day she held her hand out to me. Ah,
何ですか？
I love you.
何ですか一体。
The weather was good today as well. There were lots of people on vacation, so it was thriving downtown this afternoon. A white bird, was it a seagull or a pigeon? Was circling around in the sky.
恋人っぽく見えますかね。
I wonder. There were lovers and married couples all around us. They just seemed to carry that feeling. We, on the other hand, carried the scent of milk from the ice cream. Maybe we look more like siblings or an uncle and his niece?
うわ、最悪。
She scowled, but she didn't deny it. However, her smile came right back.
いいこと思いつきました。久世さん、そっちのアイスください。
She quickly took a bite of her own ice cream, then waited for a bite of mine. She probably wanted to show how close we were, but it was so childish that it probably wouldn't make us look like lovers. I looked down at my cone. I took some in my mouth, then went in for a kiss. Her body stiffened in surprise. I paid no mind and plunged my tongue in her mouth, ice cream in tow. Okay, great. My cold tongue mingled with hers. I could taste the strawberry in her mouth. The ice cream mixed with saliva promptly melted in our lukewarm mouths. Can we stop with the description of the mouths? We get it, okay? Next. Yes. Let's move on. Okay, we get it. Red and white drops overflowed from her lips. Our faces separated. She just shook her head. I took another bite of ice cream to cool my head and looked to my side. Quite a few people who had witnessed it looked away. I mean, it's one thing to kiss and another to do the whole thing with the ice cream in public, like... And even more just smiled at us. I answered those people with a gentle wave. Well, it was just a joke. She turned bright red and yelled at me. We were gathering a lot of attention. An Australian joke. I threw what was left of my cone in my mouth. This way people will be forced to see us as lovers even if they don't like it, right?
恋人というか、昼間っからものすごいことしてる変態に思われたような。
Maybe.
なんかどんどんエッチな子に。というか、なんか今年の夏に同じ光景を見た気がする。堤先輩のバカ！
She held her head and pondered the meaning of her life, yelling the name of somebody I didn't know. We kept upping the ante, but no matter how many times we did this, she always turned shy and looked tormented. How irresistible. I'm such a sadist. Don't pat yourself on the back too much for that. She sighed and licked the ice cream from her lips.
もうベトベトだし。
Of course. Want to do it?
ですね。ご自分の欲望ではなく、体力と生命力を考えて発言してくださいね。
She blushed and forced a cough.
何日連続で何回やれば気が済むんですか？
I'm challenging the Guinness record.
しません。
But doesn't it feel good?
いいから。
Her tone dropped all of a sudden.
もうちょっと自分を大事にして長生きしてください。
Shuichi, everyone's favorite character. Oh man, I'm having a hard time liking him. Like, there are moments when I really like him. These are definitely the polar opposite of that. Can we just move on? We get it. If I couldn't love you, then I would die.
バカ。
There stood an angel with faintly misty eyes. We strolled around the entire city, and at sunset Mizuki invited me to the church. The city was sparkling red. It's past curfew. Is it alright for you to still be out?
いいんです。
Didn't you say there was a party?
だから教会へ行くんです。
That's why? Were they holding mass or something? No, they wouldn't call that a party. The church might just be a meeting place. I absentmindedly watched her as she swayed along. The sun was slipping away as we reached the church. I could hear lots of people inside, but it would feel a little lonely without you there. Although, something seemed strange. It was kinda noisy. It didn't really fit a place like the church. A brilliant atmosphere leaked from the doorway. If I thought about it, it was obvious that people would be here today, but what's this?
まあまあ。
She took my hand and pulled me through the door. Inside, we were met with the tidings of a quiet yet bustling party. I stopped in my tracks. What was this gathering for? One lady in particular stuck out like a sore thumb in her outfit. This isn't mass?
おばさまの関係者ですよ。
Mizuki stood beside me, surveying the vicinity mysteriously. Affiliates?
お料理教室の人づてに聴衆を集めてもらったんですけど、やっぱり奥様方は無料って言葉に弱いのでしょう。
What the heck was she talking about? Wait, the party was here? She certainly had said that. What was about to begin? I was about to ask when some people I recognized came our way.
メリークリスマス。
メリークリスマスです。
I could see Sumire behind them, but she was surrounded. Didn't look like she could get away. I shifted my attention to the boys and girls around me. These three seemed to be having fun.
みずきちゃん、言われたもの持ってきましたよ。
I wonder what that is.
ありがとうございます、千尋先輩。
She happily took the long and narrow package and grabbed my hand.
クゼさんにクリスマスプレゼントがあるんですよ。
What is it?
ちょっとこちらへ。
She pulled me up to the altar. It felt like everyone's eyes were gathering on me. What was it? Can't you tell by the shape? With a smile across her whole face, she unwrapped the package.
じゃじゃーん。これお貸ししますんで存分に楽しんでください。
I felt dizzy. I thought it had died. Impossible. It was the violin I should have lost that day. Hey, Mizuki-chan.
何ですか？
Why is this here?
わあ、びっくり仰天。クゼさん風に言うとオーストラリアンショッキングピーチツリー。
I looked up in confusion. What was that back then?
ああ、あんなのケースだけに決まってるじゃないですか。
Called it.
一般市民代表の私が1億円以上するものを捨てられると思います？
I'd been had. Damn, even after you promised to only tell the truth.
私捨てたなんて一言も口にしてません。それにその約束をしたのはその後のことです。
She really was like Yuko Amamiya, wasn't she?
弓は安いやつですけどね。そっちが本当のプレゼント。
I held my face close to her ear. Liar. Remember this later.
ずっと覚えてますよ。
I looked in her glossy eyes for a moment, then she jokingly screamed and ran off. She hid behind Renji and stuck her tongue out at me. Chihiro also looked at me with complexity, but I didn't know the meaning. Oh man. I looked down at the violin and sighed. It was shocking how natural it felt in my hand. That's what it was. These people all came to see me perform. Yuletide. The audience and stage were all prepared. The actor was all that was needed. I raised my head. Many eyes fell on me. Their anticipation fell on me, on someone like me. I turned my attention back to the violin once again. It would be nice if this violin didn't hate me yet. I mean, given how many times you tried to hurt it. I held it to my shoulder and played an A note. Not bad, I guessed. The church quieted down while I tuned it. The wonderful tension before a performance. Mizuki was mouthing something to me. Merry Christmas, and pointed her finger at me. Then, in the shape of a gun, she shot through my heart. Well, I guess I can take it easy. I wasn't quite sure what to play. On this day, at this place, as a prelude to the end and beginning of this fairy tale. It's Christmas, after all. I switched modes and prepared to the bow. I closed my eyes. On a day as magnificent as this, I dedicated a prayer to man. Aww. Hymn number 109, Silent Night. I wondered how much time had passed since I opened the church doors. It felt as though several years went by, but I also had the feeling that only a moment had passed.
今夜は静かですね。
まるで世界には俺たちしかいないみたいだな。
ゆうくんと二人だけですか。いいですね、それ。毎日楽しそう。ま、意地悪なゆうくんのことだから、人目がないのをいいことに、いじめられそうですけど。
失礼なことを言うな、お前は。
でも、今日は、今だけは、誰にも邪魔されたくありません。
俺もだ。やっと約束を果たせたんだからな。
あの子があなたに伝えてくれたんですね。私のことを。私がここにいることを。
ああ、そうだよ。
I wouldn't have believed anyone else. However, it came from that girl. It came from the person whom Yuko sacrificed herself to save. I had to come back to this city.
ミキももう大きくなってるんでしょうね。
あの子は今頃クゼと夏のクリスマスを楽しんでるよ。
夏のクリスマス？
ああ、昔お前が言っただろ。夏のクリスマスを過ごしてみたいって。
そういえばそんなこともありましたね。
行ってみるか。今年のクリスマスには間に合わないだろうけど、向こうは夏だよ。
いえ、いいんです。ミキが夏のクリスマスを楽しんでいるのなら、私にはそれでいい。
そうか。
Mizuki Hayama was spending Christmas with Shuichi Kuze. It was their first one together, and it may very well have been their last.
それにしてもおかしな話ですね。今になってミキがきっかけで私たちが再会するなんて。
ミキだけじゃない。俺やお前が出会い関わってきた人たちがいたから。たくさんの人たちの思いが一本の絆になって俺たちを再び 合わせてくれたんだ。俺はそんな気がするよ。
あら、ゆうくんらしくないロマンチックな考え方ですね。
今日はクリスマスだからな。たまにはこういうのもいいさ。
Miracles occur on Christmas. It can't be proven, but people believe that. Actually, miracles don't exist unless people are put into a position to believe.
優子、
はい。
It was time to ask her. I needed confirmation as to what was happening. Without it, I could only believe that this was all a dream. I had to ask.
なぜお前は昔のままなんだ？どうしてお前はここにいるんだ？だってお前は。
ええ、そうです。
She nodded. She looked a little sad, but she still nodded.
雨宮優子という存在はもうとっくに消えてしまったはずなんです。
I once knew of a girl. She was unhappy all the time. I believed she was always crying on the inside. However, she never forgot what it was like to be kind. She was a normal girl, gentle and beautiful. And yet, her life should have been one with happiness. No. No. Why? Yuko. Where'd you go? You said you'd wait. We promised. We'd make a family, the three of us. I'm trying. A family. Also, hi. I choked up. Neither of them could hear me. Yuko, don't leave me. Come back. Please, Yuko, one more time. Talk to me. Just let me see your smile. That day was a vivid memory. It was terribly cold. She died in front of this church's altar. I still remembered.
あの時お前は。
I bit my lip. Yuko's death wasn't something I wanted to acknowledge. I had held her lifeless body. She wasn't supposed to smile again.
ミキを恨まないでくださいね。
分かってる。あの子には何の罪もない。お前がやったことも謝りなんかじゃないよ。
そう言ってもらえると私も救われます。
She saved a life that was about to go out in front of her eyes. Who could have criticized her actions? It took me a while to accept it, though.
多分私は雨宮優子ではないんでしょうね。
いや、お前は紛れもなく優子だよ。
優くん、私がいつこの町に戻ってきたのかよくわからないんです。気がついたら私はここにいて、記憶もひどく錯乱していて、一つだけ覚えていた名前が雨宮優子でした。だからそれが私の名前だと思ったんですよ。でも今はわかります。私は雨宮優子であって雨宮優子ではないんでしょう。
そんなわけが。
あなたが語ってくれた思い出が気づかせてくれたんです。多分私は雨宮優子と彼女に宿っていた小さな命から生まれた。
俺たちの子供。
The life I thought was lost with Yuko, the third member of our family.
音羽の町に戻ってきた私には、やらなければいけないことがありました。
やらなければいけないこと。
いつも優しい私でいること。一人でも多くの人に優しくすること。人のために自分を捧げることが私のお仕事でした。そうしなさいって言われたんです。
誰に？
さあ、もしかしたら神様なのかもしれませんね。
神様か。
On that day, I remembered a beautiful light coming from a rift in the clouds.
だったらお前は天使ってところか？
天使。ええ、そうなのかもしれません。
She smiled. It was truly one befitting an angel.
あなたは昔、神様なんているはずない。そう言いましたね。
ああ。
今でもそう思っていますか？
I mulled over the question. Yuko being here would normally have been impossible. Maybe this was what people called a miracle. Then I knew my answer.
俺は自分と自分の周りにいる人たちを見つめて信じて生きていくよ。
本当にあなたらしい。
俺は俺のまま生きていくことしかできないからな。
Was one miracle enough to change my beliefs? Maybe it was.
な。
はい。
俺にとってお前はやっぱり優子だよ。そう呼ばせてほしい。
ありがとう。
There were tears in her eyes. Transparent and sparkling, they were beautiful tears.
優子、昔お前に言えなかった言葉があるんだ。
I never said it because I was too embarrassed. Now I could, with emphasis and sincerity.
優子、俺はお前を愛してる。
ゆうくん。
愛してる、優子。ずっと言えなくてすまなかった。
ゆうくん、違いますよ。
違う？
愛してたでしょ。
優子、
私はね、私は幸せでした。ありがとう。あなたに出会えて本当によかった。だからもういいの。もう私はあなたからたくさんのものをもらいました。
言っちまうんだな。
ごめんなさい。
謝るなよ。
There was nothing for her to apologize about. I was able to tell her what I never said back then. It was an opportunity I shouldn't have had. For her to come back for even a moment, I couldn't have wished for anything more.
ねえ、ゆうくん。
なんだ。
Oh man, can you see
愛
this?
してくれて
You probably
あり
can't.
がとう。たくさんの幸せをありがとう。
それは俺の言葉だよ。
この町で私ができることはもう何もない。だから私は行かなくちゃいけないんです。
そうか。俺もちゃんと前に進むよ。
ええ、 それでこそ
She's
ヒュ
saying
ー
she
君で
has
す。
to go, and he's saying
あ
that
なた
he'll
はちゃんと
move on.
自分で決められる人だから。
You'll never lose track of your own
どこまでも
goals,
進
so
んでい
keep
て。
moving forward.
あ
Alright.
あなたが
Please
私に
make
くれた
others
幸
as
せ
happy
を
as you have
他の
made
人に
me.
もあげてください。思いも幸せ
Your
も願って
benevolence and altruism will come full circle.
そして
Perhaps
再
they will
び
return
私
to
の
me
元にもやって
once
くるか
more
もし
as
れない
well.
届くよき
They
っと
will, for sure.
思いも幸せも
Feelings like those have
果て
no
しなく遠い
boundaries.
ところまで届くそうだ
Oh, right.
これ
Here.
これお前に
This
渡
was
そう
what
と
I
思って
wanted to give you, but I
渡しそび
couldn't.
れてた
Your Christmas
クリ
present.
スマスプレゼントだ
ありがと
Thank
う。
you.
でも
However,
私には
I have nothing to give
何
in
も返
return.
せるものがないのに。
いいんだ
It's okay. Take
受
it.
け取ってくれ俺はもうとっくにも
I
らってる
already
んだ
got your present long ago.
あ
And he has the scarf in his hand.
ち
This
ぎ
is
れ
so
ちまってる
annoying.
首には負けないけどずっと大切にしてきた
バカですね。
誰にだって捨てられな
Everyone
い
has
ものはあ
something
る
they
さ
can't throw away.
今日は楽しかった。
Today was so much fun.
ま
It
る
was
で
like a
夢でも
dream.
見てるみたい
夢なんかじゃね
It
えよ
wasn't a dream.
な。思い出は愛しいけれど、
The memories are
あなたはいつ
precious.
も
Please keep your
未来を
sights
見
on
つ
the
めていて
future.
ください。
分かってるもう
I
振り
know.
返ることはないよ
I won't look back anymore.
振り
Yes,
返らないで
please
く
do
ださ
not
い。
look back.
どうか
You must never look back.
決して振り返らずに。あなたは
She turned her back to him. And she's crying. And he's trying not to cry too. And he's leaving the church, I guess.
俺も
I'll be going
行
then.
かなくちゃな
どうか
Please
幸せでいてくださ
be
い。
happy.
それが
That is my only wish.
それだけが私の望みです。さようなら。
Goodbye.
私は
I always,
ずっ
always
とあなたを愛していました。
ずっと一緒に
I wanted us all
生きていきたかった
to
よ。
be together forever. And there's a little feather flowing down. And Yu catches it in his hands. Guess even angels need a holiday, huh?
行くか
Time to go. This is kind of sad though. I wanted to try to pause it or something to show you guys, but like, why can't we see this? This is what it's like to experience a movie in an audio version. I guess. Let me try something. I don't know if this can work. But I also cannot go back, you know. Maybe if I do, instead of window capture, I just do display capture? Is that it? There we go. I know, I'm hiding it. Not like I'm holding any secrets in my taskbar. There you go. Should have done that in the first place. I was so caught up in the moment that I didn't know what to do.
風が吹き抜けていく。風は冷たく、時には立ち止まってしまいそうになるけれど、そういう時はゆっくりでもいいから進んでほしい。いつかたどり着けるから、必ずたどり着けるから。悲しいことがあっても大丈夫。手を伸ばせばそこには誰かがいて、
ぬくもりを分け合うこともできるか。一人では辛い道のりもつないだ手を離さなければきっと乗り越えられる。そしていつの日か気づいてほしい。あなたが歩いてきた道の途中にいくつもの幸せがあったこと忘れないで。あなたは一人ぼっちじゃない。
At least we get to experience the credits, but maybe there's a way to go back and just see that part. There should be some autosaves, right? I think it creates some autosaves by itself. Maybe we can just skip to one that's close to it and just rush through the text and get there again. They're so cute together. Like, personality-wise, I think they're very fitting because they bring out the best in each other. And also the funniest things in each other. Nagi! And thanks for all players. Aww, I feel included. Aww. Two becomes one, and it's through all eternity. Those are the two of them. It's you and Yuko. Their little silhouettes. My heart.
翼がなくてもきっといける。いつか夢見た光あふれる明日へと。
Okay. And now the screen is black. Does that mean? Okay, there we are. Now we have a full main screen with all of the girls plus you and Yuko. Memories. Show movie, play music. I guess this is the intro movie, the one that you couldn't also see. That's not what I want. There is no autosave then. These are my saves. These are the configurations. Nope. New game load system memories. Let me just click this, see what it does. I think it just plays the first movie, right? Yeah, that sounds like it. But it's... I couldn't see anything.
ゆうくん、
なんだ。
愛してくれて。
Okay, it doesn't want to show it. That was definitely the last one, right? But then I can see it now. Why? Right, so that's the first one. I click, and then it skips
ね
to this
え、ゆう
one,
くん。
which should be it, but I can't see it anymore. Why? I don't know. Maybe we can... where am I? Over here. Maybe we can find it on YouTube? Let's see. show movie. JK, lol. Yes. Yes. Let's see. I don't know how to. Someone has a playlist of all of it. Maybe we get the end as well. Let's see. Oh man, the aspect ratio in this. Why would they do that? Oh, this looks good though. The movie looks good. Okay, so let's try to do this then. And I will do it in Firefox because my Chrome is muted as per usual when I stream. If only Firefox would start. It started. Okay. Let's see. Let me skip to the moment. Okay, should be this. And let me adjust it now so you can also see it if I full screen it. Then I have no idea how it's gonna look for you. Okay. Something like this could work. Let's see. Ooh, that's loud.
ねえ、ゆうくん。
なんだ。
愛してくれてありがとう。たくさんの幸せをありがとう。
There you are.
それは俺の言葉だよ。
この町で私ができることはもう何もない。だから私は行かなくちゃいけないんです。
そうか。俺もちゃんと前に進むよ。
ええ、それでこそゆうくんです。あなたはちゃんと自分で決められる人だから、どこまでも進んでいって。
あ
あ。あなたが私にくれた幸せを他の人にもあげてください。思いも幸せも巡っていつかあなたのもとに、そして再び私のもとにもやってくるかもしれない。
届くよ、きっと。思いも幸せも果てしなく遠いところまで届く。そうだ、これお前に渡そうと思って渡しそびれてたクリスマスプレゼントだ。
ありがとう。でも私には何も返せるものがないのに。いいんだ、
受け取ってくれ。俺はもうとっくにもらってるんだ。
あ、それ
ちぎれちまって首には負けないけどずっと大切にしてきた。
バカですね。
誰にだって捨てられないものはあるさ。
今日は楽しかった。まるで夢でも見てるみたい。
夢なんかじゃねえよ。
思い出は愛しいけれど、あなたはいつも未来を見つめていてください。
分かってる。もう振り返ることはないよ。
ええ、振り返らないでください。どうか決して振り返らずに。あなたは
Oh man, my heart is breaking all over again.
俺も行かなくちゃな。
せでいてください。それだけが私の望みです。さようなら。私はずっとあなたを愛していました。
ずっと一緒に生きていきたかったよ。天使にだって安らげる日が欲しいよな。行くか。
Right, so this is where we caught up with it. This is you walking away from the church, and then we'll get the credits. There we go. Alright, that is more than enough, I think. I'm gonna delete this capture. There we go. And we can switch to this for now. Yeah. And I can also bring it. There we are. Ah. Let's see, because I switched the overlays, I don't have the chat here, so let me read here. Almost everything was realistic, but she's an angel. That rubs me the wrong way slightly. I guess it depends on your taste in stories. If you like them to be realistic, or if you feel like a touch of spiritualism or fantasy entwined with spiritualism is discordant. I don't think it is. I think it actually emphasizes and adds a lot more to it. And actually in the visual novel it makes a lot more sense than in the anime for her to be a spirit, because they mentioned that she was born from Yu's wish to see Yuko again, Yuko's wish to not die and see Yu again, and from the unfulfilled life of the child that she was bearing. So those kind of like coalesce together, and it's kind of like God, whatever God, you know, from whatever religion. It doesn't even matter. They don't even emphasize the religion that much in the story. Whatever God is there decided that yes, we'll allow this. And I think it's beautiful because they went through so much, right? And it's they finally got to say goodbye in a proper way, and even Yuko herself kind of like freed Yu of this burden, because he says, "I love you," and she said, "Isn't that a little bit wrong? Isn't the right word loved instead of love?" So yeah, I think it was a beautiful ending with a lot of good stuff regarding letting go and moving on and still having appreciation for the past. And Yuko's words at the end there, right before the credits or after the credits, or both of them, they're always about, and I think there's something to that effect even in the beginning of the novel, to the effect of like, it doesn't matter if your life is short or if you like experience pain or difficulties, the important part is that you lived and that you touched other lives and that together you made beautiful things happen. And that is one of the most beautiful takeaways of this story that I believe one could have. Yes, Big Nezza, thank you. My taste is consistency. I guess I'm being intolerant of religions. I don't think this has anything to do with religion. It's just, how do I put it? It was, in a way, a little bit of what's the proper word for this? Something to make up in like a tiny amount for all of the suffering that they've been through. Like, they deserved a break, and you know, this was the break that they got. And also, like, there was something of Yuko's that kind of remained unfulfilled, because all of her life, or most of her life, she was just trapped in her own tragedy. And actually there was this like desire within her to make people happy, and you know, to smile to someone who is in a sad or dark place, and be a little bit of a like droplet of light in their lives, like she was for Mizuki. You know, she managed to be that. there seemed to be like some intrinsic desire for her to do that for multiple people. She never got the chance, but now in this form, she was able to talk to the other characters that we saw in the first tale and kind of nudge them and guide them a little bit. And kind of the fact that they achieved happiness, it was also her happiness. So it's sort of fulfillment that she never got in life. So she deserves it. I think that is a little bit of an exaggeration. Come on. I do agree that it's not consistent with realism, but it's a fictional story, and I actually enjoy these little droplets of like unusual things. I guess this is why I like Haruki Murakami a lot, because he writes stories in this way. Like he describes things and people and lives that seem like just out of ordinary. Like you could just put a pin in a map in Japan and just find those people living there, right? But then suddenly there's like this little intrusion of the fantastic inside the story, which makes you take a double take and be like, oh, what is this and what does it mean? And more than the fact that, oh my god, there's a drop of fantasy in this realism and it might seem out of place, I think it's just a pretext for explaining and putting forward ideas that you couldn't just as easily do just relying on realism. Or maybe you could do it, but then it would be boring. I wish the story was only about you and Yuko. In a way it was, because you was guiding Chihiro and Renji, and also Mizuki and Kuze, and Yuko was guiding the other couples, Kei and what's his face? Man, I forgot what his face is. Plus Miyako and Hiro. So yeah, the camera guy, what's his name? Man, I want to say it's Yusuke. Okay. There we go. My memory is bad. Sometimes names escape me. So in a way, it's about them in the end, with these things sprinkled on top. Not even once did you have chats with people on top of the church. They were all inside the church. I don't know, man. Okay, I'm gonna rewatch the anime with Marquez, so he gets to see it too, and then I guess I'll remember this detail. Yes. Yes, I suppose so. They were all inside the church. Not even once on top of it. But I guess that was maybe one of the elements that the anime decided to introduce. When you think, when you see people in churches having a chat, think of me. It's highly unusual because like churches here don't have a way to go up where you could stay and like a person could stay there. Like they don't really have balconies or spaces on the roof to do that. So yeah. So I guess this is done. It's, oh my god, it's the end of another era. This was shorter than Clannad, but still. Oh my gosh. What are we doing next? That is. Red works nice and. Oh, thank you. You're too kind. I guess it goes well with the headphones and everything, so. Yeah. And also, maybe you can't tell, but my hair is a little bit tinted red. I use the tinted shampoo. That too. Yeah. Right, so I suppose I should prepare to start Little Busters next time. I don't have another plan for this week, but I'm also kind of leaning towards going back to a schedule of having visual novels on Tuesday and maybe playing some Zelda on Thursdays. But I don't feel ready for it this week. So Little Buster will be longer than Clannad. That's alright. That's alright. We'll take it slow. I need to investigate it, but you know, thank God I have the day off tomorrow. I can prepare. So I guess we'll do that next time. I think is the chiller thing to do. And then I'll look into. I have to test. The next Zelda that I would want to do is Twilight Princess, but I need to test my Wii U with the game capture card. Because I've never done that before. I don't even know if it works, so that's why I'm saying it's a little bit short notice to do it for Thursday. Every color looks good on me. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I try when I put colors on myself that they are more or less harmonious with myself. So I'm glad that it is next. Yeah. Right. One more thing that I wanted to do, since this is the end, I think it's fitting. Even though it's a little bit of a plug, but I wanted to share this with you. So first off, I want to share an AMV that a very dear friend of mine made a long time ago, 11 years ago. It's about Yuko and you, and I feel like the song was incredibly good. If you put all colors on yourself, I will not hold myself back from calling you a clown. I'm not putting them all at the same time, you know, I just mix and match them. Right, so this is, I really want to show this with an additional thing. Let me find this too. I have 2 recordings of myself cosplaying Yuko. One of them is better than the other. Let me check quickly which it is. Maybe this one. So, although I could share both of them. One of them zooms in a little bit more. And you'll see that the AMV is relevant because I was just struggling. What am I gonna do on stage as Yuko? I had 30 seconds because that was the that was 30 or 45. I think 45 or something in between there. That was those were the rules. I was like, what the hell can I do? So I did the last part of the song that my friend chose because I felt it was very fitting of her. And I was just imagining that this like Yuko waking up in a place between life and death and realizing what had happened to her and kind of sending a little paper airplane back to you, to the land of the living. And you know how in her paper airplane in the story she wrote help? Because basically everything she was doing in the beginning was a cry for help and attention because she couldn't escape such situation. Well, in the paper airplane that I used on stage, I wrote in hiragana, I wrote arigato. So I felt that was a cute thing to do, even though obviously it wouldn't telegraph to someone who doesn't know the story, but still, yeah. So that's why I wanted to share it since we finished the novel. I feel like it's a good moment. Yes, that's me. That was in 2013, which is 8 years and a half ago. It was in November. Yeah. How'd you end up there? That was a cosplay competition, and it was my very first time. That was my first cosplay, and I think in one of the videos it mentions that I got 4th place, and it was small. Aww. Yeah, I got 4th place, which technically it shouldn't have existed, but they wanted to give me a craftsmanship prize. One of the guys in the jury was so kind. He also had like a little business of selling figurines and things, and his his team had a little stand in the artists alley selling those things, so he grabbed a couple of those things and basically made a prize for me. I still have one of them on my desk. This was one of the things that that I got in that prize. It's a stress toy. I never use it this way. I just like display it on my desk because it's a nice reminder. And I had like a couple of other figurines that I don't have here right now. They're somewhere in storage. Right, and like because he was so impressed that I did a really good job sewing the thing, and it was my first time ever doing any sort of clothing for people, and so I did like I put in a lot of effort, and I was careful about all of the little details, and he really appreciated it and wanted to give me something. Right, and that was like the most overwhelming thing I have ever experienced. It was so much kindness. Yeah. So that is a very fond memory, and I wanted to share. There we go. Right. And I guess now we rest. Now it's time for sleepy time. It's a kid story. Oh, I think so too. Yeah, my pleasure. I felt it was relevant, even though it's a little bit of a plug or self promo. Maybe don't judge me too harshly. But yeah, given the relationship I have with you two guys, I thought it wouldn't come across that way. So yeah. We are done with F. It's surreal in a way because I'd been meaning to do this for so many years, literally over a decade of time. I've been meaning to do this, and now it's happened and it's done. And I shared it with you, lovely people, who decided to be with me along the way. So thank you. And yeah, hope to see you for the next story. Which, I don't know if we're gonna debunk Clinton's impression of Little Busters or not. But I heard very good things of it. There's so many people who obviously connect with the story in deep and meaningful ways. So I am expecting to have something there that there's a little bit for everybody there. I would hope so. There's so many characters with their own stories, so even if you don't connect with one, maybe something does appear, and there's like a magical link that gets created and you get to enjoy it. So looking forward to that. For the moment, it's gonna be good night though, because I'm very tired. Calling you little bastards might improve my opinion. As you wish, I guess. I'm not gonna stop you. Right. So then I will see you guys Thursday. Take care of yourselves, eat delicious food, drink your water, take your vitamins, go outside. I can have you saying bad words. Well, you can call it. I will call it Little Busters. I do say bad words sometimes. I hope I don't make you cringe. Sorry to dispel a little bit the illusion of innocence. Yeah, I'm only human in the end. Right. Thanks again for being around, guys. Take care. Have a good night. See you Thursday. Bye bye.